Hello. Got a little surprise for you if you're watching this today, which is not tomorrow or the next day. Hello. Just thought I would change it up a little bit without telling anyone because I like doing that. But this is another Above It All show for you on a Wednesday, if you can imagine. Is this going to be the new thing? Probably not, but it could be. It's possible. Or not. But a couple things have happened this week that I feel the need to do a little bit of an early program. I also didn't do one last week. Didn't feel like it, so I apologize. Oh my God, can you imagine? And we're going to be doing a show. We're going to be talking about elections, everybody. The Biden administration are scared shitless. Okay? They are wetting their panties, okay? They're having a bad trip, all right? They are not doing a good, in the mental region. And why is that? In fact, let's just start off why that is. Now, you may have heard why the Biden administration is, they're scared. They're scared. There was an election. The results of that election have created a scenario where the Biden administration is scared. And the reason, you may be shocked, actually, to learn this, but the reason is Marianne Williamson has unsuspended her campaign. Let's watch.
Hey, I have an important announcement to make. As of today, I am unsuspending my campaign for the presidency of the United States. I had suspended it because I was losing the horse race. But something so much more important than the horse race is at stake here, and we must respond. Right now, we have a fascist standing at the door. Everybody's all upset about it. Well, we should be upset about it, but we're not going to defeat the fascist by what? What is President Biden offering? He says, let's finish the job.
Anyway, for those of you that know what's actually happening. So there was a large showing of uncommitted, which is like the, no one answer on the Michigan primary ballot. This is from the BBC. You got to get that British perspective. Joe Biden wins Michigan primary despite sizable Gaza protest vote. Mr. Biden won 81% of the vote, according to projections, but the uncommitted exceeded expectations with 13%. His campaign will pay close attention to see if that result in the key swing state will spread nationwide. Now, before I read any of this, I just got to say, there's a lot of people out there that are talking about this election. Oh, guys, he's going to get scared. I need people to understand Joe Biden has dementia. He doesn't know what fucking year it is. The idea that he is going to get scared of this is ludicrous. Now, I don't want to be like the bursting of the bubble, the bitch who bursts bubbles. I don't want to be that person, though kind of actually I do, because I'm seeing this fucking, I would even call it a conspiracy theory in the Alex Jones type situation, where people are like, the uncommitted vote, the movement, it's going to sway Biden to resign. So the sitting president of the United States is going to resign because he got 81% of the primary vote? I'm just like, in what world are these motherfuckers living in? I'm sorry. I just got to be honest with you. This idea of just huffing fucking copium, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, man. It's going to be like, Joe Biden got 81%, man. He's finished, dude. He's finished, man. Trump has more of an iron grip on his party, and this guy's getting 60% in primaries, right? Joe Biden is exceeding any and all reasonable percentages. If we lived in a reasonable country, Joe Biden would not get 81% of anything in a primary. He would get 10%. What did he get in the primaries before Super Tuesday last cycle? Fucking 15% in some of these. This is Joe Biden running on his actual, without any of the boosts from being the incumbent. But we live in a stupid fucking country where 81% of Michiganders voted for Joe Biden. In no way, shape, or form is that going to affect Joe Biden's decision to keep running. It's not. Anyone who thinks that there's going to be some bait and switch, I'm sorry, it's not going to fucking happen. Now, again, do I want it to happen? Absolutely. I think Joe Biden will lose to Donald Trump. I do not want that to happen. But at the same time, you can't just sit here and lie to people. Like, that's a lot of what these left-wing shows are telling you. They're telling you this uncommitted vote is huge because it makes people feel like they're participating in some historic moment. You know, wow, I was one of the people who voted uncommitted. Yeah, we got 13%. You know, big whoop. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, this isn't doing anything. I'm sorry, but the uncommitted thing, should you do it? Sure. Is it worth doing? Absolutely. Is it worth voting uncommitted instead of not voting? 100%. But let's be honest here. It's not going to fucking move the needle. Joe Biden, in every poll imaginable, is losing in 7 swing states. He's toast. He's done. But he's also demented, and everyone around him is a fucking goddamn yes man. So they're not going to do anything about it. Joe Biden is going to waltz on over in a wheelchair to the fucking election and lose to Donald Trump, and we're going to get fucked. And possibly, you know, to be honest with you, I think it is possible Biden could beat Trump. But also, according to every single fucking poll, and again, I'm skeptical of polls, right? I don't think polls mean much. But when you start getting into, like, generic ballot Democrat plus 15 against Trump and Biden is minus 3 against Trump or something, you know? Like, once you're in that, like, kind of 20-point swing territory, I don't know, man. I think, like, polls can actually tell you something when you're in a 20-point swing territory. So am I here to rain on everyone's parade? Yes, I am. Because, again, should you be doing this? Absolutely. Is it worth doing? 100%. But is this going to move the needle? No! Why on earth do people think? I don't know where this came from. It just, like, happened. Like, out of nowhere, some, like, podcaster was like, guys, this is gonna do it! And everyone on the internet's freaking out, man. We got it! Biden's toast! Whoa, we got him! We're just toast, man! He's gonna quit any minute now! Like, I would love that. I mean, I'm here sitting here, like, I would love if Joe Biden were toast. I fucking hate this guy. But again, this, like, I don't know, and maybe I'm just doom and gloom here, but I consider this to be in the realm of toxic positivity. This, come on, guys, we got this, guys. Come on, man, voting is gonna solve everything, guys. Biden, you know, we got 13%, man. Surge, we're on a roll, 13%. Like, I'm telling you, like, what? Why are people celebrating 13%? That's garbage. Like, if Joe Biden got, like, fucking 50%, then we're talking. Then that's a contest. Then we're actually having a discussion. He got 80% of the fucking vote, dude. It's over. There is no chance. But I know. People really want to cling to something, right? They can't just accept the fact that we live in a fucking hell world for some fucking reason. They need to cling to some fucking fantastical conspiracy theory. Some people cling to, we're back to normal, guys. COVID's over, even though we're in the height of the pandemic right now. It's still over at the same time. Joe Biden's toast. He's going to quit any minute now, even though he got 81% of the vote. Right, like, people need to fucking tell themselves, like, these bedtime stories in order to fucking wake up the next day. I get it. Okay, I get it. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this vote is going to move the needle, man. Like, some guy set himself on fire in Washington, D.C. That didn't move the needle, but some fucking Biden getting 81% somehow is going to move the needle. I mean, like, again, I'm serious. People, you need to come to terms with the fact that the world is over, civilization is collapsing, and there is nothing you can do about it. I'm sorry, maybe it's a little defeatist of me. Are there things we can do to delay the inevitable collapse? Sure. Are there things we can do to make ourselves feel better while the world is collapsing? Absolutely. Is voting uncommitted going to be like some major historical moment that's going to solve the world from the incoming climate catastrophe, from most people getting infected with an AIDS-like airborne pathogen that they've just pretended is mild, even though there's, you know, millions of people winding up in the hospital all across the world, right? You know, we're just fucked. I don't, like, and maybe I'm the fucking sour Susan here, right? But, like, I'm just telling you, the amount of excitement I'm seeing for Joe Biden getting 81% is just, it reminds me of, it just reminds me of, like, a fucking, like, a Trumpian kind of mindset, where it's like, despite all facts, despite all reality, we're going to cling to this like one metric, like how right-wingers will like post like one poll, where like Trump is doing super well or something, and then they'll just cling to that one poll where it's like, yeah, only 45% of Americans want Trump to be in jail. All the other polls are saying like 50 to 60, but this one poll said 45. We're going to cling to it. Yeah, man. Right. I just I'm sorry, man, but the electoralism hype is during a primary where both elections are fixed, right? Let's be honest here. The Republican and Democratic primaries are fixed, right? For president. Now, again, you should be voting in primaries, because, you got to vote for, guess what? Other candidates that are appearing on primary ballots. Not all of them appear on every primary ballot. If it's just a presidential candidate, it's still worth voting. But this idea that people still, left-wingers, self-proclaimed, left-wingers, still believe to some degree, it may be small, that voting will stop fascism. And I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. And if you think getting 12% in an election is going to stop a genocide, I'm sorry, but you people are delusional. This is a conspiracy. You're insane. And maybe I'm raining on people's parades. Maybe everyone knows this won't move the needle, but they're just pretending to be hyped just because why be so doom and gloom all the time? And I'm just autistic, so I don't understand that everyone acknowledges that they're doing nothing, and they're just trying to feel good for a couple days. Whatever. Maybe people realize that, but it seems to me like people genuinely think that this is a massive moment. Ooh, the tides are shifting. Again, someone set themselves on fire at the fucking goddamn Israeli embassy. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And you think Biden fucking getting 81% in a primary is somehow, that is going to do more to move the needle than a fucking goddamn military guy setting himself on fire. I'm sorry, you are delusional. We live in the twilight fucking zone, and you cannot escape. There is no fucking time machine that you can sit in and wait for this fucking apocalypse to be over. There is no goddamn dimension door that you can open and move to another fucking world, Earth 7, where everything was fucking figured out, right? They didn't cheat the election in 2000, and somehow that managed to fix everything, right? But we don't live in that world. We don't live in Earth 7. We live in Earth 1, fucking whatever this one is, right? I need people to really fundamentally grasp that society is donezo. It's gone. It may be 10 years, it may be 20 years, maybe 30 years, but it's gonzo. We are done for. We are kaput. We're gone, okay? Right? I'm telling you, as a society. Now, again, am I saying humans will go extinct in 30 years? Absolutely not. I think humans will live around for a while. But this iteration, this post World War II, UN centric kind of fake world that we have, this shit is gonzo. It's not going to happen anytime soon. But it will happen relatively soon, right? Do I think that, overnight zombies are going to start running through the country? No. But maybe in 10 fucking years, when everyone got that fucking COVID brain damage and their IQ is 30 now, maybe there will be zombies running through the fucking streets. I don't know. But anyway, I'm here to rain on everyone's parade and tell them, hey, guess what? I'm sorry, but your fucking 13% is not good enough. It's really, I'm telling you, it's sincerely not good enough. 13%? Are you kidding me? That's it? I know. Exceeded everyone thought they would get 0 or so, whatever the fuck. I'm telling you, only 13% of motherfuckers who voted in Michigan voted, in the pro-Gaza direction. And who knows how many of the people that voted uncommitted even knew about this movement or whatever, right? How many of them just did it because they don't like Joe Biden and never heard of the other two people, right? I'm just telling you, right? This is nothing. This is nothing. Not only is this not some whoa, watershed moment, dude. This is nothing. This is nothing. Okay, I want you to understand. Say it with me. Nothing. This is fucking jack fucking shit. And hey, play my video and juxtapose it with Joe Biden drops out of presidential race and send that to me in 3 months or whatever. Joe Biden says, well, the Michigan results told me that I got to step down or whatever. Send me that video in 3 months, make your edit, whatever, make fun of me. But I'm just telling you, the idea from where I sit, the idea that this has anything at all, there's going to be any movement in any direction that's even remotely positive. But hey, don't worry. Joe Biden sent Netanyahu a letter. Guys, everything's fine. Gaza's fucking going to be great. Joe Biden sent him a letter. But hey, whatever. You got to cling to whatever you can, I guess. So I can't hate the people who are in conspiracy world too much. But I'm doing a Wednesday show. Is this like a thing? I don't know. The Left Past 10 show will be tonight on the Left Past 10 show. I would like, while I'm doing an Above It All program, I'm on my own here for right now. I would like people in the comment section to tell me, what do you think about the Left Past 10 show? Maybe the other co-hosts won't read your comments. Maybe I should even do an anonymous feedback on like a fucking, send me anonymous, so that way no one can say, what do you think about that? Personally, I think it's good. I think having, a more lighthearted kind of thing, and then this show, which is like fucking, existentialist fucking like nightmare hours. Like the current era of Above It All is like nonstop existentialism. We're all gonna fucking die. And then you have the other show where I'm like high as shit and I'm like, making funny noises or like doing stupid faces, right? I should also say that you may notice that my nose, like, what's going on here? What is that, right? Like, I'm just elephant in the room here. You've been staring at my face for, like, 20, 30 minutes now? Right, what's going on? Maybe, 16 minutes. I've got that coffee brain, But, what is going on here? So I got a scab on my nose, right? So I'm just saying, don't know what happened, okay? And I'll tell the rest of the story later, probably. I just woke up one day, blood all over my pillow. How is that possible? What the fuck? Then all of a sudden, I feel my nose. It's swollen. I thought I had a booger. I go to blow my nose. Nothing's coming out. It still feels like there's a booger in that bitch. I'm fucked. And not in the good dick way. So, just so you know, that's why my nose has like a weird fucking... it looks kind of weird. I don't know. It looks like but... Good news, I got a free nose job, right? So we're going to have a new nose very soon. So I thought I'd let everyone know about that. Speaking of illness, I love illnesses. I love talking about illnesses. Jesus goddamn Christ. I just spat all over my microphone. Can you imagine? So Bloomberg.org, also known as .com, released an article. And I'm not going to be reading the article because it's paywalled. But look at this. A spike in heart disease deaths since COVID is puzzling scientists. Mortality data of the past 4 years shows a wave of deadly cardiovascular and metabolic illness. Now, if you have an IQ above 7 or you've been watching my show, you know that COVID causes heart damage. It's a cardiovascular disease, okay? Now, most people don't know that. Why? Because, one, they're fucking stupid. They're fucking dumb. If you don't know that COVID damages your heart at this point, year 5 of the pandemic, you're dumber than dog shit and you deserve it, okay? Number 2, people trust the government. Now, there was a poll that came out a while ago that said Congress has a 12% approval rating. Bull fucking shit. Congress has a 100% approval rating because if it was real that they had a 12% approval rating, wouldn't we have a separate, wouldn't we do something? Wouldn't Congress be, next cycle, wouldn't Congress completely change? Everyone would be voted out and we'd have a completely new Congress? Guess what? That's not going to happen because people lie on the polls. They don't give a fuck, right? So as far as I'm concerned, people are fucking stupid. They say one thing and do the opposite. It's called it's called fucked up in the head syndrome as far as I'm concerned. Some people call it cognitive dissonance. Some people call it political incoherence. I call it you're fucking stupid. You have a fucking meteor that bashed into your fucking skull when you were fucking 3 months old or some shit and it caused irreparable damage. That's what I think. But motherfuckers trust the government. They do. They say they don't. They say, goddamn government, goddamn, right? But at the same time, they're going well, when it comes to my health and safety, the government knows what's going on. Yeah, sure, the government's sponsoring genocide. Yeah, sure, the government's putting plastic in my food. Yeah, sure, the government's putting chemicals in my food, but they care about my health and safety. They wouldn't lie. The government wouldn't lie. Or would they? So let's check out the chart. Bloomberg did post this on Twitter.com, so I didn't have to actually, do some stupid magic to fucking bypass the paywall or give them money. Could you imagine giving Bloomberg money? All right, so we got some charts here. Pulmonary, not nori, embolisms spiking. They're way up. Atrial fibrillation spiking way up. Now, am I going to tell you and sit here and tell you I'm an expert on all of these conditions? Absolutely not. I'm some fucking moron that just likes to read medical studies for fun. Heart disease in general going down for 1 year, okay? But keep that in mind. So while we talk about all this, very slight decrease. Hypertensive heart disease way up. And then you can check out the rest of these charts here. Diabetes is way up as well, which is more of a metabolic illness. Now, again, what have I been telling you on the show? COVID affects the heart. Not only does it affect the heart, it affects every fucking goddamn organ in your entire goddamn fucking body because it is a cardiovascular disease. That means it enters the bloodstream and infects every organ in your body and does damage over time, right? And now, again, I've said this on my show. 93% of Americans, before the pandemic started, 93% of Americans had some form of metabolic dysfunction, which leads to chronic inflammation, which leads to reduced immune efficacy. 93, look it up, 93% of Americans metabolic. Look it up on whatever search engine if they still function, right? 93% of Americans. Believe it, don't believe it, whatever the fuck, science doesn't care about your feelings. 93% of Americans were fucked before the pandemic. Then a disease which further eradicates your immune system and all of your organs comes in and just accelerates the fucking, right? So, I got news for people. If you want to live in La La Land where you leave your house without a mask on, Charles Darwin wrote a book about you, came out a couple hundred years ago. Maybe you should go to the library, put on a mask first, and check it out, okay? But I really need people to fundamentally get this in their heads. 2019 was fucking 5 years ago. It's not here anymore. There is no return to normal. When COVID came, we entered a new world, and there's no going back. As much as you want to pretend, oh, I took a vitamin C supplement 13 years ago once, so now I'm immune to... As much as you want to pretend, oh, I got a vaccine that has a 63% efficacy rate, so I'm immune forever. Oh, I got COVID 17 times, but now I'm immune because whatever. You know, people simultaneously believe that getting COVID grants them immunity, but then they also get COVID 30 times, and they're like, what? I need people to understand there is no return to normal. It's not here. It's not anywhere. It will never fucking happen. If you have not adapted to wearing a P100 or N95 grade respirator every time you leave your home, you are going to die. Now, do I sound crazy? Sure. But you know what else is crazy? Getting HIV for fun because you wanted to go to a party. I'm sorry, that's fucking crazy, okay? You want to go to a bar so you're going to destroy your immune system and get AIDS? Are you fucking stupid? Are you dumb? Do you have a disorder going on of some kind that would lead to such irrational decision making? Now again, is it going to be in the next 5 years? Maybe not. Is it going to be in the next 10 years? Possibly. 15 to 20? Absolutely. That you are going to be seeing people, you're already seeing it, dropping like flies. I really need people to understand. The old world does not exist. It doesn't matter how much you want to pretend it does in your imagination. That's not relevant at all to the real world. If you are sending your kids to school, guess what? They are getting a virus extremely similar to HIV. It's almost identical to how it destroys your immune system over time. I have a question. Does anyone know of anyone who died of HIV within a year? Within 6 months? Now, has it happened? Sure. Right? But what is more likely to happen when you get a virus that destroys your immune system? Right? You slowly get weaker over time. Then you get infected with the flu or a common cold and then die 4 years later, 5 years later, etc. Right? We are only in like year 2 of everyone get infected 5 times a year mode, right? Really, this kind of started in like 2022 where everyone just started leaving the house and getting infected over and over and over again. People learning nothing, right? So the most likely occurrence is that you're going to see some mass waves of death in the next 5 to 10 years. And over the course of the time, you're going to see a lot of people get dumber and dumber and dumber. A couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I covered how COVID destroys your brain. It destroys your fucking brain. In almost everyone that gets COVID, there is a slightly decreased cognitive function, right? Or there is a gigantic decrease in cognitive function depending on how fucked up you get, right? I really need people to understand the world that you grew up in is gonzo. It does not exist. Bars, gone. Gyms, gone, okay? Parties, gone. Unless you want to die 30 years younger than you were planning on, gone. School, in person, gone. They're death factories. Okay, now do I sound crazy? Maybe. You know what else is crazy? Everyone getting a fucking disgusting virus that destroys your immune system, destroys your heart, destroys your brain over and over and over again and giving it to kids. That's what's fucking crazy to me. Okay? To me. I find that to be absurd. That people are willing to kill their kids, kill their family, kill their parents, so that they can go to fucking goddamn Red Lobster during fucking happy hour or whatever the fuck, okay? I'm sorry. No restaurant experience is good enough to die for, okay? It's just not, okay? And I'm sorry if you are participating in this scam by not wearing a mask when you leave the house, you are done fucking for. It may not be this year, it may not be next year, but in the next couple years, you are going to look back at your life and think, wow, I really wish I didn't start believing in magic in the year 2023. Wow, if only I actually trusted science instead of magic. But hey, I'm fucking crazy, I guess. I saw this popping up, making the rounds in the news world. And just to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie. I don't know who this is. I'm just being, I maybe heard the name before, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know who this is. But some singer, Andrea, whatever, postpones March dates of her Las Vegas residency due to illness. Quote, "I have no choice but to rest." So this is apparently some big singer. I don't really know. I'm not going to lie to you. I have no fucking clue. Never heard their songs. Andrea is postponing her upcoming shows for health reasons. On February 27th, the singer announced on her Instagram that she is sick and per doctor's orders has no choice but to reschedule dates for her weekends with Andrea Las Vegas residency. Andrea explained how she hasn't been able to fully recover since the last time she was ill, and now it's taken a toll on her voice. Now again, for those of you that don't know, the music industry has artists sign contracts where they are not allowed to talk about COVID. Why? Because they think it'll affect ticket sales, and they're probably right. Well, actually, they're not right, because look at the fucking Taylor Swift tour. Dumb motherfuckers are willing to kill themselves for anything. But they all signed contracts that say you are not allowed to mention COVID. So we're in the height of the pandemic. There are more transmissions happening every day than there ever has been at any other point in the entire pandemic's history, except for maybe that 1 week in fucking January 2022, right? And all of a sudden, one of the most popular singers in the world that I've also never really heard of is too sick to sing. Interesting. Isn't that fucking fascinating? Now, there have been all kinds of stories about singers getting sick and canceling tour dates. I've covered a couple of them. But I need people to understand that COVID is real regardless of what Donald Trump told you. COVID is real regardless of what Joe Biden told you. And I need people to understand that artists that are very talented are also, in most instances, fucking stupid. You think Taylor Swift is intelligent? Like, let's be honest here, right? These are most often right? The current generation of big popular artists are oftentimes trust fund babies, right? They're oftentimes extremely privileged weirdos, and they also live in a bubble from the rest of the world. They don't really interact with the rest of the world. And also, I need you all to understand, no one gives a fuck about them. You think Taylor Swift's team gives a fuck about her? They're riding the cash train, all right? They're milking the cash cow. And when Taylor Swift or Adelaide gets too sick to work anymore, there's going to be the next generation of artists, right, that are willing to sing and die in the age of fucking 24 or whatever in order to get COVID over and over so that they can get their 15 minutes of fame. And the vultures are going to go from artist to artist to artist so they all get sick and fucking die. But I need people to understand that a lot of these artists that are doing this are complicit. You think Taylor Swift is a good person when she's hosting the most super spreader events in the world right now? But she's a good person. She's so nice. Right? She's so nice. She's hosting super spreader events. Who knows how many people are dying because of the shit that she's doing? Right? In 2020, everyone realized that there was this big biker rally in 2020. Do you remember that? Right, and everyone was talking about how everyone's going to get COVID. And guess what? They all got COVID. They all got sick. A lot of them died, and a lot of them now have permanent disabilities. Right? And then liberals are like, oh, Taylor Swift does the same exact thing 2 years later? My queen. Right? Because people are fucking stupid. These motherfuckers are ridiculously fucking dumb. I need you all to fucking understand, COVID is real. Germs are real. Even if you cannot see them, they are real. I have a question for you. Are you dead? If the answer is no, we can presume you are breathing. Now, are you aware of oxygen? Can you see oxygen? I can't see oxygen. But guess what? My body got oxygen. How is that happening? I'm not seeing it anywhere. There's no bottle that says oxygen on it. So where is it coming from if I can't see it? Oh, guess what? Things can exist that are smaller than your eyeballs can perceive. Oxygen is one of them. You know what else is one of them? Viruses. Guess what? They're real. And you know how to tell they're real? You can look at them under a microscope. But most people in the world now no longer believe in the microscopic world. They just don't. If you cannot see it with your naked eye, it's not real. How do I know it's not a TV screen inside the microscope? Huh? Motherfuckers out there, and I need you all to understand it. Everyone watching my show right now knows at least one person. If not, you are that one person yourself that thinks COVID is no big deal. I want you to set a fucking reminder on your cellular phone or whatever application you use. Come back to me in 5 to 10 years and let me know how your immune system is working. Let me know how your metabolic system is working, because I would love to know. And maybe I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just a negative Nancy. Maybe I, wanting to live a long, healthy life, am the weird one. Maybe. Maybe that makes me fucking weird. Killing myself for capitalism? Not actually something I feel like doing. I guess that makes me weird. And I know, oh, she's talking about COVID again. That's all she ever talks about. It's not like I talked about 4 other different things in the show, but hey, whatever, you know. But again, apparently I need to keep talking about it because I get dumb motherfuckers in my fucking comments almost every week telling me, why do you focus on COVID so much? Why? Because no one else does. There's a media blackout on COVID. Your favorite left-wing shows are doing it. Mainstream news is doing it. Trump is doing it. Biden. There's a media blackout on germs in the microscopic world, right? And I'm sorry, just because Big Brother is staring down my neck and wants me to stop talking about the bad word, I'm not going to. You would think COVID is like a racial slur for how upset people get when they fucking hear that word. You know, honestly, let's be real here. Now, again, people act like COVID is like, you know, oh my God, you believe in germs? They believe in germs. Like, I'm sorry, man. I know I'm ranting and raving, But it drives me insane, and I can't not talk about it. I can sit here and lie to you and pretend like everything's fine and rake in the YouTube dollars, but I refuse to play that game. I'm sorry. I'm too moral for such a game. I'm not really. I just don't want to play right now. But while we're talking about public health being an absolute fucking disaster, I wanted to share this story here from the last couple of days. Norfolk, also known as Norfolk Hospital, admits to failings in care of 11-year-old autistic boy who died of sepsis. So I just want people to understand the medical system, right, is a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. Public health, not existent. The hospital system is a goddamn joke, okay? If you are not a cisgender, right, white person, you are going to face medical discrimination to some degree. If you're trans, a lot of doctors aren't even going to know what to do about your system or your situation. A lot of doctors might even straight up refuse to treat you if you're transgender, right? If you're black, a lot of doctors, guess what they're going to do? They're going to go, I don't think you're telling the truth. Or, it sounds like drug-seeking behavior. Why? Because the medical system is fucking garbage. And don't even get me started on if you have any sort of mental issue whatsoever. And when I say issue, of course, I mean compared to the status quo. An autistic child was murdered. I don't see the M word anywhere here. They were murdered because of medical malpractice. Because the doctor said, they're autistic. They don't fucking know what they're talking about. And sent them home with an active blood infection. Right? You ever think about that shit? Isn't that fucking crazy? That this is the world we live in where doctors are the ones perpetuating the COVID pandemic? Did you know that most COVID infections in the year 2024 so far have been acquired in hospitals? So you break your leg, you go to the hospital because you're sick, then you get COVID and die. Great. Good system we have, right? And also, again, if you're autistic, if you have some sort of communication issue, let's say you don't speak English, guess what? Doctors are going to discriminate against you, and you'll probably die. Congratulations! Welcome to the United States of America in 2024. But I want to read this article here because it is really fucking fucked up. And this is something that happens a lot. But oftentimes, the doctors will never admit that they made any mistakes. Oftentimes, this stuff is buried by the media. But this happens a lot. Autistic people, anyone that has a, mental abnormality or whatever compared to the status quo and how normal people behave, they're treated like fucking garbage in the medical system. Right? This happens all the fucking time. A hospital trust has admitted that a young autistic boy should still be alive had they delivered the appropriate level of care. In an exclusive interview with ITV News the day before the inquest into his death, Matthias Vieira's heartbroken parents described him as special, adding, and special in a good way, not just special needs. Well, I mean, let's be honest, every parent is going to say that. Do they really mean it? Probably not, but hey, whatever. Quote, people may think because he was autistic he was difficult, but it's not the case. He was very easy. I love the idea of describing, children as difficult. Like it's a fucking video game or something. Yeah, they're really difficult. What? What is the fucking Super Mario Brothers? What the fuck are you talking about? I know, I'm just bare. He was the boss of the house. We just miss his presence. Matthias, aged 11, because he's not going to age anymore. Why? Because the fucking doctors killed him. Was taken to King's Lynn Hospital in Norfolk with a kidney infection. He struggled to cope with medical staff taking observations, and his notes recorded him as uncooperative. That's another thing, too. Medical systems and their notes. Right? Now, I'm going to steer a little bit off track here. But I was reading a story of someone who had COVID, now again, this is an anecdote. It could be made up, totally possible. They had COVID. They went to their doctor's office, right? They were wearing a mask. They asked the nurse to wear a mask. And the nurse wrote down that they're being uncooperative. And then next thing you know, they're in a mandatory psychiatric hold, right? Because they have anxiety. Woo! And then they're fucking jailed in the fucking hospital for 3 days. Now, because a nurse said that they were uncooperative, right? What does that mean? They're uncooperative? It sounds to me like the doctors are being uncooperative, right? A patient is giving, because we live in a capitalist system, giving you money to help them. And you are going to call them uncooperative? Like, what the fuck? Like, in what universe? We are paying you to help us. What the fuck? How are you going to label us uncooperative and then give us a death sentence? This kid got a death sentence because a doctor labeled him uncooperative, and then the rest of the doctors looked at the chart and then just didn't bother dealing with the kid and sent him home, and then he fucking died. Because some fucking jackass said that this autistic kid was uncooperative. That's a death sentence. Why? Because we live in Fuckville. Somehow doctors revel in their authority positions. Somehow doctors have authority positions. What? Don't we pay you to assist us when we are poor or sick? Isn't there like money? It's like hiring a taxi driver, sitting in the back seat, and then saying, like, it's a little stuffy in here. Can I roll down the window? And then the taxi driver, like, brings up their fucking app and says, this rider was uncooperative. Like, excuse me? Like, I mean, like, in what fucking world does that make any goddamn fucking sense? Now, again, I shouldn't necessarily compare taxi riders to people going to the hospital, right? Different situation. But you understand my point here. How the fuck is it even possible for a medical institution to label someone who pays them uncooperative? And then also that's a death sentence for some reason. Being uncooperative is a death sentence. Hey, how are you feeling? Nope, they didn't respond. Dead! Like, what? Insane. His dad, Vitor Vera, told ITV News, quote, he doesn't like being touched, even a plaster he doesn't like. You would think, by the way, that this is all communicated to them. Like, the doctors are not going to waddle in here without any information because this kid wandered in off the street. Their parents are there with them telling the doctors this shit. The doctors are like, the child is behaving exactly how the parents described. Uncooperative? What? Death sentence. Now you die. And they say, quote, oh, he does not cooperate. He was an autistic boy. What do you expect? Now, there's no fucking end quotes here. What the fuck is... What? But bear with me here. What? What is a doctor... Right now, again, this is, this is a paraphrase. We're quoting someone who's quoting someone else. But why is a doctor saying he is an autistic boy, what do you expect? Unless, wait a second, okay. So, okay, the lack of quote marks is really driving me insane. But apparently that's the father saying that in response to, oh, he does not cooperate. And again, we're going to talk about the word cooperate here, right? Cooperate. What is co? More than one person? Cooperate. It takes two to fucking tango, motherfucker. Okay? If a doctor is saying, oh, they're autistic, well, now they deserve to die because we don't believe in, oh, they're autistic, so all autistic people deserve to die, I guess. Uncooperative, boom, death sentence. It sounds to me like the doctor is being uncooperative, right? But also, again, if the parents are telling them, hey, our kid's autistic, he's got a couple special things when it comes to being touched, he doesn't like being touched in certain ways, can you please act around that? And the doctor says, no, fuck your kid, now die, bitch. Like, that's not, like, I'm sorry, but, like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, it is not doctors' places to judge and execute children because they're fucking different. That's not the fucking doctor's place. The doctor's place is to provide medical care to people in need. They're not here to make fucking judgments on whether or not people deserve being cared for. What the fuck? That's not your place. Quote, sometimes I think my child is the only autistic child in the world because how have you not seen this before? They should know better. Mr. Vera believes staff did not understand his son's behavior. Matthias was nonverbal and so unable to articulate his distress. See, that doesn't matter to me because the parents are there being verbal for the kid. Oh, the kid's nonverbal. Great. His dad's sitting right next to him. How about you ask him? Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, but man, this shit makes me cry. It really does. Because the medical system kills people all the fucking time, and we're not allowed to say murder here. These doctors and these nurses murdered this child. They belong in jail. They belong in fucking prison. Now, again, I'm a huge skeptic of prisons, but if we're going to throw people in prison for smoking weed, we should throw murderers, child murderers, in prison too. That's just my opinion. While we're at it, Joe Biden, have fun. Observations were dismissed as inaccurate by medical staff. In fact, they were accurate and indicated that his kidney infection had developed into septic shock. Do you know how to fucking tests? Oh, we have an autistic boy here, right? Not really good at communicating distress. Let's run a fucking exam. Like, I mean, like, what? What? How is it possible that we live in a world where a nurse can write uncooperative on someone's medical chart and that's a death sentence? I'm sorry, man, but this is fucking insane. How do doctors and nurses not get trained in how to deal with people like this? I'm sorry, but you're just terrible motherfuckers. Everyone involved with killing this child, with murdering this child, I'm sorry, man, but the fact that they're not in jail is insane to me. Like, again, you can get thrown in jail for smoking a bowl of fucking crystal meth in an alleyway and just fucking having a good time and doing nothing at all to anyone else. You can get thrown in jail for multiple years for that because you wanted to fucking have fun, right? Now, again, I'm not here promoting meth. I don't think people should be taking meth, but hey, Adderall is legal. Think about that. But that you get sent to jail for that? Possibly even get executed if they want to claim that you had so much meth that you had intent to sell and now you're a drug dealer even though you don't even fucking know anybody, right? I mean, like, if we're throwing people in jail for that, I don't know, maybe child murderers belong in prison too? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. But here's another goddamn news story here. He suffered cardiac arrest and died at 11. The Kings Lynn NHS Foundation Trust wrote, "It is admitted by the trust that there..." Now, I guess this is actually in the UK. "It is admitted by the trust that there were failings in the delivery of the care that was provided to Matthias following his admission on 11/04/22. In particular, it is admitted..." What is this? What is language? In particular, it is admitted that there was a delay in diagnosing life... I'm sorry, I can't even read that without getting angry. I mean, this shit blows my mind. I mean, like, I just, like, why? I just don't understand, right? Humans are capable of so much beauty, so much compassion, so much, care for one another. We're capable of these things. And yet, we're all killing each other for no reason so that we can go to Wendy's and get a surge-priced hamburger. It's insane. I hate living here. I'm going to be on. What is here? You might say, you don't like it, leave! Where am I going? Where am I going? Is there Earth 2 that I can jump over to? Do you have a dimensional door in your basement that I can walk in? If I had a fucking magical leprechaun hop into my goddamn living room, right, and tell me, hey, one-way ticket to another world. I will give you no information about that other world. All I can tell you is it's not this world. I would jump in. I would roll those dice because I am 27. I'm going to be 28 in a couple of months. And the idea that I'm going to be living on this planet for another 80 years with these fucking people, it drives me up the wall. It really does. I don't want to live here. I want to live in a world where everyone is nice to each other. I want to live in the world where doctors do their fucking job instead of giving out death sentences to autistic children. I want to live in a world where people look under microscopes and say, hey, that's real. There's no TV screen in my microscope. Viruses exist. I want to live in a world where we don't have fucking people dying on the street, but we don't live in that world. Right, and no amount of fucking, Joe Biden got 81% in an election. Come on, guys. Things are looking up. Joe Biden is going to lose any minute. He's going to quit any minute now because he got 81 fucking percent in an election. Like, I don't know, man. Electoral politics, people. I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing. I mean, seriously. I mean, really. I mean, come the fuck on. It sends a message. Are you fucking Jimmy Dore or some shit? Oh, it sends a message. Yeah. You're sending a message to the establishment. Got him! Damn, sick burn, dude. Biden got 81%. He's fucked. It's a joke. This world that we live in is a joke. And all the fucking people that are lying to you about these fucking primaries, like, again, nonstop, primary. These are 2 fixed elections. If we have another primary cycle, it's possible the elections will be fixed or not be fixed. I'll make that decision later. If we have a primary election season in 2028, like fingers crossed, right? And there's actually candidates running and it seems like a legitimate election, I'm down to cover that. Anyone who told you at any point that Trump or Biden would be toast at any level, even honestly, because it's an editorial decision to even acknowledge these primaries. Like, imagine all the other good stories. Maybe they could be talking about COVID, medical malpractice. Maybe they could be talking about poison in the food supply. But no, all these left-wing news show people are talking about elections. They're not talking about important elections like gubernatorial elections, congressional elections, right? They're talking about the presidential primary, which is both of them have been fixed for a year. We know the results of both of them. A year ago, we knew what the results would be. 2 years ago, we knew what the results would be. 3 years ago, we knew who the nominees would be in 2024, the day of the 2020 election. It was a duh. And anyone who couldn't see that, I'm sorry, but why would you even accept them as a source of any information? Like, come on, man. Like, Jesus Christ. But hey, maybe I'm too edgy. Maybe I'm too upset. It's possible. I'm open to that concept, and I'm an upset, angry gamer, and I'm just taking my rage out on the world. It's possible. I'm open to that idea. But I'm just like, I'm just so over this whole fucking La La Land bullshit. I really am. I hate that so much of a space that I participate in is full of La La Land bullshit. I really do. Right? The news and commentary, like, space online, filled to the brim with dumb motherfuckers. Right? I like to play video games. Video game communities online? Goddamn, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm not touching that shit with a 10-foot pole. All of my hobbies and interests, I'm alone. You know? And there may be a couple people that follow me and that like what I do and stuff and all that. But, like, let's be honest here. There is no mass movement. There is no anti-genocide movement. It's a bunch of people going to a rally, taking a selfie, and then moving on with their lives. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. If you're spending money on fast food, giving your hard-earned money to fast food corporations, so spending more money on a worse product, and you're an anti-capitalist, I'm sorry. I don't believe you. Right? You should be boycott, divesting, and sanctioning all of these unnecessary things in your life. Right? And now, again, am I saying you shouldn't have fucking fast food ever? No. Once in a while, you know, it's fine. But I know people. I grew up poor. I lived this in my childhood. Who eat fast food every day because too tired to cook, man. I'm too tired to cook. How about you fucking sleep? Instead of watching fucking garbage on TV, how about you get a good night's rest and fucking cook breakfast in the morning with real fucking food? It's too expensive. If you think McDonald's is cheaper, right, than cooking at home, I'm sorry, you're just fucking dumb. You're just dumb. You're a stupid fuck. I'm sorry. Like, you're fucking stupid. But I need people to really understand. For me, my politics are my lifestyle. This is how I act. The things that I say, I engage in behavior according to. But most people, hello, Max. Politics is verbal only. It's a brand. What color shoes do you have? What logo is on your polo t-shirt? That's politics for most people. So when people say, I'm a leftist, I believe in solidarity, they don't fucking believe in solidarity. What are you a dummy? Do you want to get scammed? They don't believe in solidarity. How many leftists do you know who march in lockstep with Donald Trump when it comes to COVID-19? How many of them? Almost every single leftist I know is a Donald Trump conspiracy theorist when it comes to germs. What happened? What happened? How do you go from, like, what's the last big movement in this country? Bernie Sanders, right? Hate to see it, but we haven't had a movement since then. Right? Of, like, people who claim to be left-wing, right? How many of them turned in to COVID-denying eugenicist fascists when it comes to COVID-19, when it comes to a pandemic? Acting out my professed solidarity with disabled people? Going to Wendy's during the surge price? I'm gonna go buy some new shoes I don't need. That's most leftists. Because again, as I said, most people, their politics have no Venn diagram. Politics, lifestyle, and behavior. Most people, they're two completely separate circles, right? And so what you need to do is either admit you're not a leftist, you don't actually give a fuck about any of this shit that you pretend to care about, or actually put your money where your mouth is and live your professed values. Anything else is this is a children's show, this is a game, okay? And I'm sick of the fucking world being run by people that have the mentality of preschoolers. You know, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, we have demented old fucks committing genocides in Gaza, and we have a bunch of leftists who are like, you're so bad, but when you pretended that COVID was over, I agreed with you so I can go to a baby shower and give my kid COVID so that they come out with a fucked up brain, right? That's fine. But when Joe Biden does a genocide, that's bad! It's so bad! When I committed genocide, oh, that's great! That's wonderful! When I engage in a genocide, oh my god, so wonderful. When Joe Biden does it, oh, it's so evil, bro! But again, I know I'm talking to myself here. I know I'm speaking to the choir, but hey, this is my show. This is where I go to rant and rave like a fucking lunatic, like a fucking absolutely insane person. I got this knot in my hair. Look at this shit. I'm working on getting that out, but fuck. Goddamn, it was windy as shit the other day. Just telling a story here. Windy as fuck. It was like a hurricane or some shit. I don't know. It's tornado season or fucking some shit. Goddamn, my hair. All kinds of fucked. And my nose is all fucked up. Look at that. I'm going to get a new nose soon. It's pretty great. But anyway, that's the Wednesday show. Tonight is Left Past 10. So look forward to that. And, yeah, I'd like to say thank you all for dealing with this. Thank you all for bearing with me. I know a lot of people may tune into this program and go, whoa, yikes. They don't know what the hell's going on with this bitch, right? So, thank you for giving me a chance. But, But yeah, I think I covered everything on my list today. So, a little awkward now.